Hello, hello, Nyx Nova here. So, in the last video, we talked about communication and how it is super crucial in all types of relationships, especially romantic ones. So, that brings today's video dating. What are we doing? What is it? It seems like it's a hot mess nowadays, at least from what I hear from a lot of people. So I am here to provide some higher realm guidance, just a bird's eye view, like a higher perspective, to hopefully like give you all the tools on how to date successfully and to stop running into people that drain you, that exhaust you, that are just not a good match. If you find yourself asking, like, why do I keep attracting these people? Like, what is happening? Or if you're asking yourself, like, oh my God, why does nobody want to date me? Why does no one talk to me? What am I doing wrong? Here it is. Okay. So first of all, there is yeah, I'm gonna make a video at some point in the future too about like everyone is so divided nowadays. It's like, masculine versus feminine and like old versus young, and it's like, you know, this political party versus that one. And everyone's just like bickering and fighting. No one wants to understand each other. Everyone's like in their own little bubble, in their own little echo chamber. They only surround themselves with people who agree, and then they can't get out. So when they run into someone in their daily life who is on the opposite end, and is all this craziness happens, there's just conflict and people fighting everywhere. It's just like, it's a mess. And this also applies to dating. There's so much horrible, toxic advice out there for men, for women, for everybody. Like, okay, if you want to attract a man, here is what you do. Or it's like, oh, if you want to get chicks and whatever, here's what you do. Like, you understand we're all people, right? Just like in the last video about communication, we're all of the same species. You understand that, right? Why are we all treating each other like some aliens or like these mythical weird creatures that we don't even know what to do with if we see one and we're like, ah? Like, we're just people. So step one, yeah, treat each other as people, as human beings. It's like, I mean, contrary to popular belief, men are not from Mars and women are not from Venus and whatever else you identify with. At the end of the day, we're all on this planet again, as much as we don't want to. We're human. That's it. We're different. Obviously, we're different. We have different, tendencies, different ways we express ourselves, different styles of communication. But we're just people, though. Like, it's not some alien, like men or women or whoever you're trying to date. It's not like some alien concept that you have to like, play all these games, follow this advice, okay, step one, step two. There are no steps. Why are we complicating everything? It's because like we're trying to avoid this conflict. We're trying, like, everyone's offended at everything. Everyone takes everything so personally. We create this mess in our heads. And then we're sitting there wondering, asking yourself all these questions like, why am I still single? It's like, here. So anyway, yes, here it is. First of all, just talk to each other. Going back to the last video about communication, right? Don't be allergic to communication, right? talk to people. So if you're already dating, if you're already kind of talking to someone, right? Open and honest communication. Like, the earlier the better. Like, as in, if you're just regardless, right? Even if you're just having fun, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? Some of us want to go and pursue a serious relationship, like we're ready, like we want our forever person, we want something real. Nothing wrong with that. On the other hand, if you just want to meet people and mingle and date for fun, nothing wrong with that approach either. However, you need to make sure you're on the same page. Like, it's not healthy to just sit there and guessing and play all these games and like reread each other's texts and like, what does this mean? But what does that mean? But they say one thing, but means the other. First of all, mean what you say. Just be honest. Obviously, don't be a jerk in how you communicate. There's no need to be an asshole. It's the how you say it, right? You can express the same idea, in like infinitely many ways. Just, be considerate of the other person's feelings when it comes to dating, right? It's all about feelings. Even if you're not wanting to get serious with someone, there's still feelings. There's feelings of attraction, right? Of desire, of satisfaction. Those are still feelings, right? No matter what you do, when it comes to dating, it's the heart that's involved and there's feelings that are involved. And that's okay. Don't be scared of your feelings. Again, they're very normal and they're good for you if, handled properly. But, just set your intentions. Like, maybe not on the first date. That could be a little awkward because you don't really know the person. But within like 5 dates, within the first month or two of you dating, really like decide, are we, and again, you're not deciding whether you're going to be like each other's forever person. That's not what I'm talking about. You don't know. That takes time, and the amount of time it takes is going to be completely different for every couple. Some people, are going to just click right away. They're on the same page right away, and like they're going to progress a little faster. Some people kind of maybe don't know what they want. Maybe they're not sure about the other person. Maybe they're still healing from something else. They're going to go slower. To each their own. There is no right or wrong answer. It's like, oh yeah, wait 2 hours before texting him back. That'll really interest him. Like, what? Why? Or like, oh yeah, the third date. You know what that means? Like, it's gonna be different for everybody, whether it's the first date or the 15th date or marriage or after, like, or never or right away. Like, but you can't have any type of successful connection, again, serious or not, if you don't set that like expectation right off the bat. So literally the first month or two, maybe the first 5-ish or so dates, really bring that up. Like, okay, hey, like I am looking for this. Are we on the same page? And whoever's don't be afraid to disagree. In fact, realizing that you're not on the same page sooner rather than later, because again, right, whether it's serious or not, there's some kind of emotions, there's some kind of feelings going to be involved to some degree. The more you prolong it. In the last video, right, we talked about bottling feelings, them growing out of hand. Same thing's going to happen here, whether they're positive feelings or negative feelings. The more you, like, whenever we date, and again, even when it's not serious, we're still spending time together. I'm still using up a very valuable resource of mine, my time, that I'm giving to you, whether it's for an hour a week or, the majority of my life if I'm like further along in the relationship, whatever it is. So shouldn't you be using it in that time? Like, again, self-love, self-care, right? It all goes hand in hand. When you love yourself, you act in a way that is loving towards others as well. So, when you're respectful of your own time, like, I don't want to waste my time. Here's what I'm looking for. This is what I want. Is this the same what you want? No? Okay, time to make a decision. And it's up to you. Do you want to stay in the relationship knowing you're not on the same page right now? Do you want to break up? Again, no right or wrong answer. Maybe this person will come around. Maybe you can become on the same page. Like, are you basically ask yourself, are you okay with how things are, knowing what you know now? If yes, have fun, enjoy each other, pursue whatever you want to pursue. If not, you know, really, again, self love, self care. Do you really want to give your time and energy, be in someone's presence that's maybe not in alignment with yours? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Again, the sooner that's determined, the less heartache, the less scarring, the less baggage there's gonna be going forward. Like in the last video, right? Take care of future you, communication, right? When it comes to dating. And then, right, we all talked about, treating each other as human beings. It's like, so the reason, like, oh, do this and you'll be irresistible. That's, you know what that is? That's manipulation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you're active, because what you're doing is you're being fake. This isn't who you are. This isn't what you want. You're just trying to follow some weird advice that you may or may not agree with. You're just desperate enough to try it, and like, or you're just curious or whatever. So you're setting, like, you're basically trying to control and manipulate the other person and the situation into something, like some end result that you want. That's a little evil, isn't it? That's that's not healthy, is it? That's disrespectful to the other person too, right? Like, imagine they found out that you're this whatever version of you that's trying to get with them isn't actually who you truly are. You're just following some random advice you saw on the internet. Like, what if you found that out about the other person? How would you feel? I wouldn't feel very good. I don't know about you. Maybe some people are into that. Who knows? I'm not into that. Again, I value my time very much. Like, I'm an introvert. I have limited energy. The people, and I learned the hard way again with therapy, the people I'm going to spend my energy on, I'm going to have to be a little bit more discerning. So, so that's why, like, I'm honest right away. Are we working? Are we not working? Like, am I feeling it? Am I not? Where do you want to go? Where do I want to go? Because I don't want to waste my own time, first of all. And then second of all, I don't want to waste the other person's time either. That's rude. Because I don't want them wasting my time. You don't want that. You want someone to lead you on and waste your time and pretend just to get with you? That's not a good feeling. So why would you do that to someone else, right? Instead, like, obviously, yes, sex is kind of like the focus here. We all know dating and sex. Not for everyone. There's some people who are not interested in that, and it's perfectly fine. They just want to hang out and date and whatever. I'm sure they have their own challenges as well, just like the rest of us. Nothing wrong either way, but for the most part, for the average person, dating, it goes hand in hand with sex. So that's, I think, the number one problem. You're trying to get sex out of people. Isn't that dehumanizing? Like, people, like, again, we're all human. We all have thoughts and feelings. Like, I'm not just like, we're not each other's, like, dildos or sex dolls. Like, yeah, we have time and limited resources, limited energy. Like, that's kind of using, isn't it? If that's your kind of goal, to get into someone's pants. And I mean, obviously, when it happens and it's consensual and everybody's, enjoying themselves, nothing wrong with it. Go ahead. You want to have multiple partners, you want to have an open relationship, you want to sleep around, go for it. Knock yourself out. But again, do it with people who, who are on the same page as you. Like, isn't that what you want? Like, why, like, let's say you are successful in this little manipulation tactic, like, oh, do this and you'll be irresistible. But then that person isn't falling for you. Like, to me, that's insulting, right? That would really hurt my self-esteem. When I realize, because, the real you, sooner or later, if you see this person more than once, it's gonna come out. And it's just gonna fall apart. And also, like, again, think about yourself too. Why would you want to be with someone who doesn't like you for who you are? Again, even if you're not looking for anything serious, right? You're just looking, let's say, for a friend with benefits, right? You just want, like basically a sex partner. That's okay. That is okay. No right or wrong answer here. But again, don't you want to attract someone who's on the same page as you? Like when you're doing these tactics, you're attracting someone, but then like, they don't even like you for you. Like, and then the phenomenon of like ghosting too, when you do finally realize, oh, you're not feeling it, like you're not who I thought you were, just is just not feeling it. Why is this a thing? Why is this a socially kind of a new social norm? Like that's just like that's appalling to me. Like again, that's so dehumanizing and like slightly evil. Like there's someone, maybe they're really into you, they want to see where it goes, they enjoying talking to you, and all of a sudden just disappear for no reason, leaving that person. Like me being a tarot reader, let me let you all in on a secret. Most of the time, the person getting ghosted blames themselves. They think they did something so horrible, they offended you in some way, and they're questioning their whole, like, who they are, and like they're blaming themselves, and they're carrying all this baggage to the next relationship, and so the cycle goes on and on. And then you're gonna end up the person who like, if you're the one ghosting them, they're you fuck them up, they're gonna go fuck some other people up, you're gonna end up dating one of those fucked up people. You see, karma is a thing, whether you believe it or not, it is a thing. And then we end up in this situation, like right now, like why are we even talking about it? Like, oh, the key to dating is to treat each other like human beings. Like, why do we, but I need to say that, why? Like, it's ridiculous. So basically my point is, rather than having sex the focus and how do I get this person, see if you enjoy each other's company. And again, does not people equate that like, oh, I don't want anything serious, so you don't have to be serious. Like, what's wrong with just kind of like, just, and again, let's say if you're only looking for a friend with benefits, your standards are probably going to be just slightly like either in a different order, maybe slightly lower, because maybe this person is fun to kind of, hang out with, but they're not really, boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever material. And that's okay. But when did the term friends with benefits lose the friends part? You don't have to end up with someone who you don't even like being around, who drains you, who you just want to hook up with and then run away. Again, that's so dehumanizing to the other person. You're using them for sex. That's horrible. Why can't you just get along? And yeah, you don't see a future together. Yeah, you're not on the same page about relationships, or sorry, you are on the same page. Like, you don't, neither of you see each other as a potential long-term partner, at least not right now. And if you're okay with, both of you need to be okay with that, again, being on the same page. What's wrong with, just being around someone you kind of, who at the very least just doesn't drain you, isn't a chore to be with, isn't like crazy. Like, yeah, you don't have to be looking for something serious in order to just treat each other. Have a conversation with the person. When you're approaching someone who you potentially maybe want to ask out or get to know that way, or just sleep with, have a literally treat, don't, the first thing that you should treat them as anyone else. anyone else that you don't even, that you're not even attracted to, that you're not interested that way, how would you talk to that person? How would you talk to your coworker when you're getting to know each other at work? Talk about, hobbies or places you've been. Do you travel? Like, just fun things. Keep it light, keep it fun, right? But like, why so then why, like, with dating, we said this ridiculous. First of all, don't set expectations. Discuss what your expectations are. Okay? Do not have these secret expectations, and when that person's not meeting them, you like get scared and like run away and again ghost them. That's awful. Express your expectations. What do you want right now? If your expectations, let's say you continue whatever this situation is, this relationship, friends with benefit, whatever this thing is, you decide to continue, your feelings change later. Again, bring that up. Talk about it. Like you would with anyone else. Like that's how you could approach it. And then, like, so let's say, yeah, you're wanting to ask someone out. Approach them with that kind of like neutral, like, if we get together, if we, good, bonus points, woohoo. Always remember, potentially you may not, get them. Maybe it's just not a good match. Maybe you're not on the same page. That's okay. Like, that's another thing. Rejection, right? Doesn't feel good. Not fun. Okay? I know. I've been rejected. It's not fun. But like, it's part of life. In anything you do, sooner or later, you're gonna get some kind of form of rejection. Whether it's, looking for a job, or being invited somewhere, dating, of course, like, it's all right. It's not the end of the world. Like in my last video, like, don't take things so personally. There's always gonna be someone, again, feeling, no matter what it is, some kind of feelings are gonna be involved. Not all of them necessarily pleasant. So it really goes two ways in dating. When being approached by a new person, first of all, the person approaching, do not take rejection personally. In fact, be grateful to get rejected sooner rather than being led on and just like heartbroken later after you've invested so much energy and time into this person. Right? It's like, cool, that sucks. I mean, I'm disappointed. I was interested in this person, but you know what? It didn't get very far, luckily, so now I can use my energy for someone who will not reject me. Right? Process of elimination. The more, and it works with anything, like finding a job, or like figuring anything out, looking for apartments. Process of elimination. This, like, maybe 3 of them didn't work out. That means you're getting closer and closer to the ones that will. Don't you want that? Don't you want it to be successful and to work out, no matter like which direction you're taking is what your intentions are? Like, and then for the one who's doing the rejection, please do it politely. Don't be all judgy. Don't be all like, why are you talking to me? Oh my god, you're such a creep. Like, yeah, first of all, the person asking you, don't be creepy. Don't be weird. How do you not be weird? Again, don't put sex first. Put, hey, I'm interested in you as a person. I recognize that you have thoughts and feelings and ambitions and goals just like I do. I would like to find out what they are. I want to have a conversation with you. That's how you approach it. And then obviously, if you end up dating, yeah, there will be sex, of course. But like, if again, both consenting parties on the same page, yada yada. But like, approach it that way. That's how you don't be a creep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, treating other people like people is how you're not creepy. Mind-boggling. My God. And then again, the other person, don't be so judgy, don't be grossed out. Politely say, "Oh, like I'm not interested. I'm so sorry." Like be let them down gently. And then again, the person approaching, accept that rejection with grace. Yes, it's going to hurt a little bit. Yes, it's going to bruise your ego. You're going to heal. You're going to be fine. I promise. I've been through it. You will be fine. Like, just graciously accept, be like, okay, I respect you. This person doesn't want me. Okay, good. I'm gonna go find someone who does. Like, why would you want? Like, why do you get so disappointed in rejection? Again, yeah, it's gonna hurt for a little bit, but like at the end of the day, I think like I don't want to be with a person who doesn't want me. I want to be with a person who wants me just as much as I want them. She's like, why are you so hung up on being rejected? That person doesn't want you. And remember, don't blame yourself. It is like, no matter which end of this dating situation you're in, whoever doesn't want you, it's their loss. Right? You're coming in, you're maybe offering something, they don't want it. Okay. I promise you, maybe we're so worried about being alone or something like that. I don't know, but like, there is someone out there for everyone. And the reason you're not attracting these right people is because you're not, being your best self. You're not working on your demons. You're not working on accepting rejection. You're not working about not approaching someone like not a creep. That's it. That's all it is. We're always overthinking, overcomplicating. Like, I need like asking the stars for guidance. Like, you don't need that. I mean, again, happy to help, but like I always give everyone the same advice. It's like, who they don't want you. Why do you want them? You know? I don't like I've been in a couple toxic relationships. Trust me, I learned the hard way. I would much rather be single a little longer and wait, and meet someone who I actually connect with. Then I would much rather be single than end up with like in a toxic like situation like that again. It was horrible. It's damaging. It's damaging to your psyche. It's just like, and again, to the future you carrying all these burdens and baggage. You can't even enter a normal relationship until you work through all this out. And depending on how bad this toxic situation was, it could take you years or decades, or how, like, depending on what you've been through, maybe even like your whole life. Is that like, we want our partners to bring their best foot forward, right? That's another thing. Really reassess your priorities. Again, if you're just looking for friends with benefits, it's more simple, right? Find someone who you can have a decent, maybe not the best, most deep conversation, but a decent conversation with. They don't drain you, or kind of, they're okay to hang around for like an hour or two, hook up, whatever, they're attractive. Okay, great. But like, if you're looking for like something more meaningful, right? You want your partner to work on themselves and bring their best self forward. You don't want them to just sit there dwelling in all their past and their garbage and their drama. If they have psychological issues, you want them to get some help. You want them to work them out. Nothing wrong with that, right? But then also at the same time, what are you bringing to the table? Maybe if you're attracting all these wrong people, again, A, you're not truly being yourself. B, maybe your priorities aren't straight, whether it's what you want out of the relationship, or really think about like, what kind of person do you want? Like, I'll give you an example. As I get older, like, my priorities definitely are realigning themselves, and that's okay. Remember, you're on your own journey, to each their own. But just to give you an example about reprioritizing, when I was younger, like late teens, early 20s, I was like, oh, he has to be a gamer, he has to like art. Basically, like, they more revolved around us having similar interests, like he has to, funny, smart, like, the typical. And then I learned some of these things, yeah, they're somewhat important, but who I truly honestly want in the end is I want someone who views me as an equal. I want a 50-50 partnership, right? I want him to respect me, and I want us to make important like once we're in a committed relationship, we are making decisions 50-50 together. I don't want him telling me what to do. I don't want him looking down on me. And vice versa. I don't want someone who I disrespect, who I look down upon. I want my equal, 50-50. Like, first of all. Second of all, I want someone who's compassionate to me. I want someone who doesn't always, maybe, they're not always going to understand you. Again, no such thing as a perfect soulmate. But the key word here is try. I want someone who always tries to understand me. Right? And these became my top two things. Right? Someone who's compassionate towards me. Someone who's patient with me as I work on myself. Someone who is honest with me and on the same page as me and communicates, right? I really started thinking about things like that rather than, oh, someone who, texts me right away. Or, yeah, someone who likes the same anime that I do. I mean, if you have zero hobby interests in common, yeah, it's going to be a kind of challenging. You need to have something in common to kind of, have happy and fun, to have fun together. But how high should that be on the again, it's going to be different for everyone. And what I gave, about my priorities, that is just an example. You may have a completely different list. Nothing wrong with you, but I just really, if you're attracting the wrong person, really make sure who is it that you want to attract, like really deep down, right? And and then what are you bringing to the table, right? If you want someone who's doing their best, are you doing your best? Are you doing shadow work? Are you getting help? Are you healing from past trauma? Don't ask things that's not fair. Don't ask things of others that you're not willing to do yourself, right? That's not fair. And it's okay if you're not willing to do it yourself. If maybe you're not ready, that's perfectly fine. But then how can you demand something higher of your partner when you, again, right? A healthy relationship is more or less like 50-50, 64, like as close to 50-50 as possible. So if you're only contributing like, I don't know, 30% and expect the other person to just run around treating you like, putting you on a pedestal, like that's not very healthy. That's not fair to the other person. It's actually like for both of you, it's just not good. So, yeah, just some stuff to think about. I really hope this helps. This, along with my communications video, really I promise you, things are so much simpler than when we make them out to be. And it doesn't make them easier necessarily. It's still gonna be challenging finding someone, getting on the same page, like figuring out how to interact harmoniously with one another. But, it'll at least, uncomplicating it will definitely release some of that anxiety, right? And remember, don't take things personally. I'm gonna make another video, by the way, about making assumptions, right? Don't, and how like no one owes you anything. So, keep an eye out for that. That's gonna be coming. But, same thing in relationships, right? Or in approaching a new person to try to ask them out, right? No one owes you anything. They really don't, no matter how nicely you ask. Everyone's entitled. If that person wants to respond as a jerk, if that person's a jerk, why do you want to be with them anyway? That should be easy. They're making it easy for you. Walk away. Okay, well, I approached them politely. They're a jerk to me. I don't need that. Fine. See ya. I'm not afraid to be rejected by a total jerk. I'll be like, I don't want you. Okay, never mind. I don't want you. Fuck that shit. So, and then, Yeah, and also don't make assumptions. Maybe that person's just a jerk. And like, obviously, yes, it's never like justified, no matter what you're going through. If someone's approaching you with politeness and kindness and you're just snapping at them all over the place, not the best, probably probably a regrettable teachable moment. But then again, but don't assume, right? Let's say you're approaching someone, you're trying to ask them out or just trying to start a conversation. Maybe they just broke up. Maybe just got dumped. Maybe they're having a horrible day. Maybe they lost their keys. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe their dog died. Maybe they had a fight with their best friend. Like, you have no idea what could be going on. Stop making assumptions for people. I'm gonna go deeper into this part in another video, but that's a huge part of like accepting rejection and stuff like that. Never take things so personally. Remember, just simplify. Treat each other as human beings that we really are, and honest, upfront, polite, open communication. That's it. That, I promise you, that's it. Like, just try it, right? Even if you're skeptical. Give it a try. You will be surprised at the change of the types of people. Like, if you kind of think about, like, because I've been through it myself. I've learned all of this. I'm just making this up. I learned all of this in the hardest way. Like, one, not, obviously other people have it worse than me, and I respect that. But like, I've learned it the hard way, right? And here I am, kind of telling my lessons. Um, I could make I'll make another video kind of more talking about like my personal experiences and where these lessons come from and all of that, to kind of give you maybe a context. So that's might be coming in the future as well. But like, really, simplify your life. I have an oracle card that says literally that. Simplify your life is so applicable to this as well. So the card of the day we talked about, this is from the manga deck. We talked about bringing your best foot forward, right? Reprioritizing and not unfairly asking something of someone that you wouldn't do yourself. This is the exact card. This is the 5 of Wands. It's literally about everyone contributing equally, to the greater thing that they're trying to accomplish together. And that is exactly what healthy and harmonious relationships are about, right? Learning, growing together, being on the same page, enjoying each other's company if it's not serious. If it is serious, enjoying each other's company while learning how to interact together better, right? To get like growing together, contributing. Everyone's giving their wand. It's like a piece of their soul, like a little bit of themselves, their time, their efforts, for each other. And in doing so, for yourself, first of all, always remember, love yourself. Love your future self. Forgive your past self. Like attracts like. That's how you're gonna get other people who think like you do. Right? Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. See you next time.